I received a phone call from the policyholder, pretty frantic, that one of his employees had been electrocuted. He was a long-time employee, very respected employee, and he had touched a hot box, a box that he thought had been turned off, and it killed him instantly.
I just got off work. I work a graveyard shift, and I called him and talked to him on the way home, and he had a good night with the kids, and he told me he loved me, and I went home to go to bed, and then I heard this pounding on the door. Couldn't figure out who it was, and then I seen Kenny Anderson, which is the owner, and his wife out there, and I knew something was wrong. I went to the door, and I just looked at him, and I said, "Just tell me he's okay." And they said he wasn't. He was gone. He was a good man, you know, good dad. Everybody loved him. The hardest thing I had to do is tell my kids. And just to see their face and their reaction, you know, it killed them.
We did the investigation. I had actually spoken to the policyholder, sent our investigative unit out right away to determine what had happened, what was going on, and we decided that we would give Jandale a few days. So 3 or 4 days later, the policyholder told me that it was probably okay for me to contact her. And I remember vividly, she was so confused at first. She was so lost. You know, I was trying to explain the benefits to her, and it was just, she was hearing it, but it wasn't sinking in because this was the worst moment of her life.
That year was the year that my oldest son was graduating from school. He was getting his Eagle Scout, and Maggie graduated a couple of years ago, and my other daughter will be graduating next year. And so just thinking back on that, that's really hard because he missed out on all that.
I cannot believe the strength that this woman has shown, and I applaud her. I mean, I have 3 children myself, and just to be able to take this horrible tragedy and rebuild your life, but also do it successfully, to send your kids to college, to watch them graduate from high school, I think that's amazing, and I respect her and admire her so much for that.
The Pinnacol Foundation is for kids whose parents have been killed or disabled in work-related accidents in the state of Colorado. And they come from all parts of the state, rural areas, the cities, everywhere, and they are able to go to any accredited program, whether it's a vocational training program, a community college, or a 4-year university. And what we look at first and foremost in our criteria is the parent's accident and how severe that was and what its impact on the household has been.
I got a letter in the mail telling me that there was this foundation and that would help the kids. And Elizabeth Starkey, she called, you know, and she's a doll. I just love her to death. My kids going through the problems that they were going through, you know, she was very understanding and helped them and me as much as possible. And she's there, you know, she's there, and she still is.
I met Jandale when Sean did not reapply for the scholarship, and I called to see what was going on, if he was having trouble, if there was something we could help with, and he had not reapplied, and she didn't know that, and together we got that together so that he could get the scholarship for the next year. And then her daughter Maggie applied with us, and we gave her a scholarship as well.
People out there give you money for however your grades are, and it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. Maggie, when she graduated, her dad had been gone, and high school was really hard for her, and her grades went down. And with Pinnacol, they cared about what was going on in your life, you know, and why you were having the problems, and if they could do anything to help. And so that foundation with her, you know, and with Sean, when they had their problem, they, you know, they were still there, and they're still using it.
A lot of times the child is on the edge They're really weighing the cost to their family of going to school. It means that they can't work full-time and help the family. And so they have to decide, is it worth the sacrifice to go to school and give up that potential income? And so our scholarship just makes it a little easier for them to make that decision, and helps them along and helps them access a better future.
Sean, he's majoring in Spanish and he wants to teach, so he's really excited about that. And him being excited about something now, it's like I have my son back, and his grades are good, he's top of his class. Maggie, she wants to be a psychologist, so they're getting their lives together.
Imagine that it was your mother, your father, your sister who's just suffered a work injury, or God forbid a loss of a loved one, your husband or your wife's been killed. How would you want them to be treated? How would you want them to be handled? You don't want them to be just a claim number. You'd want someone to take the time and really, really listen and really care about them. And instead of being draining and emotionally exhausting, it's just the opposite. Because as you see them getting better, as you see them recovering, even if it's just an emotional recovery, it revitalizes you so that you keep wanting to do this. We don't want people to be just a claim number. We don't want them to be just a bill, just, a lost time check. I think that's the difference, is that Pinnacol really, really tries to give that personal touch to our claims, and that makes a huge difference.
Pinnacol is a company with a heart and soul. It's our culture to take care of people and help people in their worst times of need. And I am so proud to be part of an organization with that mission. It makes it worthwhile coming to work every day.
We just couldn't have made it through the stuff that we have gone through, without your guys' support, and especially that first couple of years, and then to find out here still 5 years later, you guys are still there. You guys mean a lot to us. You do.